All right, so let's begin by creating our very first HTML document. We'll keep it very simple, and we'll add on to it in the next couple of videos. So I'm going to be recreating a portion of a Wikipedia page on chickens. You can follow along with the same text. You can just write gibberish. You can come up with your own content. But what really matters here is not what goes between these tags, but the tags themselves. That's what we're covering right now. So you could just type gibberish if you want. So I'm going to start by making an HTML file inside of VS Code. So I'm in VS Code here. You can do this really in any editor. I'm going to make a new file, so you can do File, New, or I just use a shortcut, Command N on a Mac, and then I'm going to save this file. So I'm going to name this file something like chickens dot, and it has to end with the .html extension. So that part is very important. It will do two things. One, when I save this, VS Code will recognize that it's HTML, and it will treat it like an HTML page and highlight it and give it the nice syntax coloring. And when I open it in my browser, it will be recognized as HTML and run as HTML or rendered. So you can see I already get this nice little icon that's coming from the Material UI theme that I set up, my VS Code theme. If you don't have that, it's not a big deal at all. You can go back and check out that video if you want. I'm going to begin by just putting some text in here. So why don't I just take the word chicken and then maybe this first paragraph, but you could put whatever you want in there. Really, anything. Just type some stuff in there. So I'll do chicken like that. So I've got my 2 lines here. It doesn't matter what we have in here. This is not really HTML we're typing at the moment. It's just text. But now I'm going to save this file, and I'm going to open it in my browser. So I'm using Chrome, and there are many ways of doing this. One is just to navigate in Finder or whatever the file chooser thing is called on Windows, find the file and double click it. Or you could right click, open with Chrome. You could also open it with Safari or something else, or you can drag it and open it in Chrome like that. And there we go. I'm viewing my HTML file in the browser, in this case in Chrome. Now I didn't do anything specific to HTML, it's just text, but it does end in .html. And you can see I'm viewing it as a file here. So this is not hosted somewhere. I'm not going to some website or hitting a server to view this contents or the contents of this file. I'm the only one who can see this on this machine. So it's not online or anything like that. So now we're going to start writing some actual HTML. Let's take a look at the Wikipedia page. Chicken right here is bolded, the chicken. So if you're not following exactly with this text, just pick some word to bold. So I'm going to do it here. So I'm going to start with the opening B part of the tag, and there's a couple things that happen right away. First of all, we get colors, the syntax highlighting from VS Code. It recognizes this as HTML, and it auto-completed that bold tag closing portion. I did not type that myself. I just did this, and it automatically added that in, and it put my cursor right there. Now there's another way of creating a bold tag even quicker, which is if you type the letter B and you hit tab, it expands that for you. Now I already have the text written here, so it's kind of annoying. I need to put chicken inside of the B tag, so opening and closing, and I need to make sure I have that N right there. Okay, and this is telling the browser to bold the text in between the opening and closing tags. So I'm going to save, go back to my browser, and refresh the page. It's not automatically updated. So I can navigate, or I can click here and hit enter. You can see it updates. Or I can use a shortcut, which is what I usually do, or you could click here. But I use the shortcut Command R on a Mac. Okay, so we've got our first HTML element, the bold element. We'll actually learn more about the bold element and when you should and shouldn't use it. There are certain situations where it actually doesn't make sense, and there's a different way to bold something. But I want to mention, if I leave off that closing tag, what do you think will happen? Well, let's refresh. Everything is bolded after that opening tag. The browser doesn't know that we wanted it to close anywhere. It just assumes, all right, you open the bold tag, now everything's going to be bold until I hit the ending closing tag. Did I find it? Is there a closing tag? No? Okay, maybe the next character. And it never finds it. So everything will be rendered as bold. So we need that opening and that closing tag. And it actually, VS Code will autocomplete that for me too. If I just start with a slash, it figures out that I want to close that bold tag. Because I had it open, now it's closed. So that's our first example of a very simple element, the bold element. The browser knows what to do with it. And if I open this in Safari or Internet Explorer, we would see bolded text for that one character, that one word, chicken. This should work across all browsers. That's the main idea of HTML. It's a standard. I can mark up my document and indicate that this is supposed to be bolded, and when I open it or view it in a browser, it will be. So now that we have that basic idea, we're now going to go crazy learning a bunch of different elements, not just bold tags, but how do we make headings, how do we make links and images and forms and buttons. So that's all coming up in the next couple of videos.